Hello, boys and girls. Had some more promising interview opportunities this week. I'm going to have some more next week. And I think that I'm good to go as far as at least some of the unemployment payments, if not more. So, bottom line, the show must go on, and it shall go on because I don't want to disappoint all of you out there who like these videos and don't want to disappoint myself. We have only one thing to unbox today, but I do have quite a lot to show you because I managed to, as I was out and about, I managed to find some, like a buy two get one free kind of thing. I managed to find some of the movies for which I have needed slipcovers, so I'll show you those in a bit. But first, I desperately need to take a sip from the drink of Unboxing Champions. I've already sipped quite a lot of it because it's hot out there. And I do not do well when it is hot. Um, but first of all, yeah, I managed to either sell or give away or whatever almost all of those spare slipcovers that I had. The only ones for which I still need movies. Well, this one I've needed for a while, the City Slickers slip for Deadpool. There, I I used to have the regular one, but I sold it because I knew I was gonna get the Shout Select version. Um, and then I still need the Bling Ring, and I still need Draft Day. See, they, at some of the places that I went to today, they had Draft Day, but the only one that they had was one that already had a slipcover, and it was way more than I would have paid for it, so no thanks. I can wait. But those are the only ones for which I still need slips. The rest of them I took care of. But yeah, so for the first place that I went to was one of my old haunts around here, Manifest Discs. They're affiliated with FYE, and they had kind of a rough go of it during the closures. All the businesses and stuff, and they only relatively recently reopened. They still aren't taking any new like Blu-rays or DVDs for trade-ins. They're only taking CDs and vinyl, and and that's too bad because like I used to go there all the time with trade-ins, and I'd find things for credit and all that stuff. They still have their buy two use get one free deal, which is good because I always make sure to take advantage of that. So I made sure to, patronize their business a little bit because I hadn't done so in quite a while. And I managed to find quite a lot of the movies for which I needed slips, such as The Help here. I managed to find that. Um, Still need to watch it, but now I can because I have it in the collection. And we'll see, because it got, quite a lot of awards buzz, but it just doesn't seem to have gotten a lot of, a lot of positive remembrances when people look back on it. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, those things are so fickle as far as like how a movie's received at the time versus later. It's just I don't put a lot of stock in it. I just think about what I think of it. And then If I Stay, which I have always wanted to see now, because I got it at just a normal store around here. It is the American cover here, but I got the Canadian slips, and they're almost identical except for the French on the Canadian one, but that's fine. It's a small difference, but yeah, I've always wanted to see this movie. It looked pretty interesting for like a teen romance sort of thing, and I love Chloe Grace Moretz. I think she's really pretty, and she's really up there as far as acting talent. I still to this day I don't think that she's been fully tested the way I think she should be as an actress, but who knows? Maybe a certain someone might be able to change that one day. Um, and got Las Vegas here with that awesome slip there from Entertainment One, and the American release of it through Sony there, but that's all right. And it was really cheap, and these are at least for super qualified and prestigious actors in their craft. So I have no idea really what to expect, but the slipcover looked cool, and I was able to find it. So, and then one that I've wanted to see for quite a while, Only God Forgives, managed to find that, and you see that's put out by Anchor Bay, and then Canadian is put out by Entertainment One. But yeah, this is Nicholas Winding Refn with Ryan Gosling again. So yeah, very eager to check it out and see what's up with it. And heard really good things, but I've also heard it's rather polarizing. But I guess that is the case with Nicholas Winding Refn because he dares to do things that are different, and we around here like things that are different. And then Paper Towns, which I heard a lot of good things about. I like Cara Delevingne a lot. You can tell this was a former library copy. And I went ahead and I took all the stickers and stuff off, so there's like this big like, yeah, look at all this nonsense that I took off just for you because I care. And last but not least, Unbroken, the Angelina Jolie directed film, which looked pretty interesting. I just never saw it, but again, it was inexpensive, so went ahead and grabbed it up. And then I would like to see that. Well, after I see this, I should look for that Unbroken Path to Redemption because that was the. I guess that some people were sort of pissed that this. I guess this movie doesn't really dive into the main character's like born again status or whatever, and so that sequel, not made by the same filmmakers here, I guess that it had picked up where it left off and showed that part of the story, but there you go, you got the complete story on film there. I'll just have to track that one down now, assuming I like this, but yeah, so that was all for Manifest. And then I went to Second and Charles, which was along the same street, and that's where I made some trade-ins because they do accept Blu-ray and DVDs for trade-ins, and so I used some of my credit that I got there, and I was only expecting to get one thing, but then I found prices so low on a couple other things that I just couldn't resist, especially relative to what they normally go for. So what I managed to find with my credit, and this was the last slip that I needed, that I was able to find, was American Sniper there. And I remembered seeing this in the theater, and when I went to see it, it was a packed house. Like, it was, I don't think there was a free seat, and they put it in one of the biggest theaters that they had at the multiplex, like most seating capacity. And yeah, it wasn't even like a 3D movie. It was a, war drama. It's like it was pretty unprecedented as far as like the audience response, and the film didn't really do very well internationally, but that didn't matter because the domestic response was so strong for it, and that definitely is topsy turvy relative to the way that most movies break down these days financially. And I think Clint Eastwood really did a fantastic job with this film. It is funny. Like, I think it was Seth Rogen was calling it like the most fascistic film since Nation's Pride. The film within the film for Inglourious Basterds, which I don't know. You could argue that, I guess, but I don't really think that that's warranted. But I also don't think that the jingoistic, pro-war kind of interpretations really hold up either. I know that this doesn't really get into some of the more unsavory parts of Chris Kyle's autobiography, where he was saying that he liked war and liked killing and things like that. Which, I mean, you have to make some adjustments for the sake of having a sympathetic protagonist if that's what you're going for, but I wouldn't say that we're necessarily supposed to entirely be on his side in this film, because he does kill very effectively and he does rack up a huge kill count, and he's not able to really turn that instinct off when he comes home because he's constantly in fight or flight mode. His blood pressure's through the roof. He has really bad PTSD. Like, he nearly kills a dog at a party or whatever, and it's like, I'm not convinced that we're necessarily supposed to see that as a good thing, or I think it's just Clint Eastwood's really good at those kind of detached narratives where you're not really told what to think, which is good. I mean, you could argue that it makes him more of a hero than he deserves, but that's up to you. I think just as a movie, it really, the part that kind of cemented it for me was being a comic book fan. You saw the Punisher symbol, the skull, and if you know anything about Frank Castle, the Punisher, he is very dehumanized because of what happened to his family and what made him the Punisher. And so, if you look at it through that lens, then you'll understand his mentality a lot better, or at least the mentality that's presented. Um, and then the ones that I didn't expect to see was Meatballs with this awesome VHS slip here. And I have not finished this movie yet, but I started watching it when it was on YouTube for free with ads, and I thought it was quite funny for what I could see of it. And yeah, this was a film that was filmed in, can't remember exactly where, but it was in Canada, and it was one of the higher grossing Canadian comedies, but it's not specifically identified as being a Canadian film, even though it was directed by Ivan Reitman, but starring an American Bill Murray, and this actually kind of helped make him a star. And it's set in, I want to say in like, I forget where, like New York State or Maine or some place like that. That's where it's set. But yeah, so and the only evidence of it being a Canadian film is that someone has like a Montreal Canadiens hockey shirt. But, it's something that, I bring it up because there's an interesting aspect to films that are filmed in Canada but aren't necessarily given like a specific Canadian identity, so that I guess that they'll do better in the international marketplace or something. That's a whole other discussion, but like the cool slip here. And yeah, it says Bill Murray's feature film and starring role debut. So yeah, there you go. And now I remembered seeing Inherent Vice in the theater when it came out, and I remembered, because I'm such a huge Paul Thomas Anderson fan, I remembered seeing it, and I remember being so disappointed with it. And I know it didn't get, it's probably one of the worst reviewed films of his, but I knew a lot of people that really loved it, and, it wasn't reviewed poorly, it just was kind of mixed, but I need to see it again because it's been forever. I just remember being so hyped for it and then just being so disappointed with it. But I wouldn't mind watching it again, and it was so dirt cheap with the slip that I was like, well, okay, now's my chance to reevaluate it. And it just I don't know, it didn't really click with me. But the only Paul Thomas Anderson film I've not seen, and that's one I don't own, is Phantom Thread, but Phantom Thread. I need to get that on 4K. And then the two most exciting acquisitions, because I didn't expect to see them, and they were surprisingly cheap, especially relative to what they go for normally in this kind of condition. Two Scream Factories with the slipcovers that I think are out of print or soon to be. I can't remember, but we got Deadly Blessing, and that's Wes Craven, and then Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood. So how cool is that? And these were surprisingly inexpensive, and so I made sure to snatch them up before anybody else could. And she looks mighty happy there, doesn't she? Little too happy, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this is a Wes Craven film, and look how cool that is. Cool cover. And then I still need to finish the Tales from the Crypt series. I used to have the DVDs. I'm hoping that they remaster them and put them on Blu-ray or something. But I need to get this one and the other one. And find that with the slip. But yeah, how cool is that? I didn't expect to find those, but whenever I see a Scream Factory for cheap like that, I gotta snatch it up. And now we can finally get to the one package that we have from Canada, from Calgary, Alberta. And I don't exactly know which one this is gonna be, but yeah, we gotta do a classic unboxing, don't we? Because that's what this is all about. Oh, good. Yeah, okay. Glad that this came. So, I think you might have seen this film in one of the other unboxings, but I sold the one that I had because, yeah, there we go. So, it's Coriolanus, which you saw already. But I sold the one that I had because, surprisingly enough, managed to find it with the slipcover, and how cool is that? Yeah, slipcovers are badass, and especially the Canadian ones, which are usually cooler than the American ones, if they even, because that one in the US doesn't have a slipcover, if I recall. So, that will do us for right now. But rest assured that the show will go on in one capacity or another. I'm not giving up, and yeah, hopefully some good stuff will be happening next week. But yeah, the show will go on. So if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, set phasers to stun, work factor 5. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, especially Instagram. The links to the full collection as it exists right now. I'm still trying to get all that backlog of images. I'm trying to get those all uploaded so that way everything is up to date. But yeah, you can follow me on there. The links are in the description, so please check them out. And I will see you in the next video, and I'm going to finish off my drink of Unboxing Champions because it is bloody hot and I need it. Refreshing.